So if the problem is that the product they have is no good or the location they chose is not the right one, it's still marketing. So it's really about the classic 4 Ps: product, place, promotion, and price. So just with the right market research and before putting up the business, if they do that very well, then there should be no problem.
If there were a way for you to discover better ways of marketing yourself and your business, would you like to know how? Today is a welcome news for everybody who wants to know because we have with us our season ender, the one and only Mommy N, well, very popularly known as Mommy N, short for Mami Negosyo, Myrna Tam Natividad. So, Mommy N, how did you get started?
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Miss Dina. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be here as your guest in your program. So, how did I get started? Actually, my it's a long story. You know us. We have been there for more than 40 years, so it's quite a long story. But yeah, my educational background was in education and math and not in business. That's why I went into business accidentally when my husband lost his job. So at that point, I sold anything and everything that my co-teachers wanted, from eggs to rice to small appliances, watches, and finally jewelry. And that was when I finally knew that, wow, business is something for me and selling jewelry is something that I can do. So this is something that I wanted to do for a long time. But then since I was not a business course graduate, I committed lots of mistakes. So it was 30 years of trial and error, opening one business after another, and we got into millions in debt because of all of those mistakes. And that's why I became, I guess, a lifelong learner and a seminar junkie. A lot of our friends in PAC were people I followed for a long time, including you, Miss Dina. Right. So I went to seminars. Any seminar that I could find, I bought and learned from many books from many topics, from marketing to training to relationships to healing the inner child and many more. So yeah, my business failures affected my relationship with my family, my kids, and it almost ruined my life. So that was the drama in the 30 years of trial and error that I went through.
Uh, I,
So
uh, I am so surprised, Mommy, because of course when I met you, you were already the famous Mommy, and I never knew you had those trials in the past. So, wow, how did you? I can imagine, but must be difficult. How did you stay the course? It's not that easy, huh? How did
yeah.
you get that kind of determination to just
Mm.
carry on?
Right. I guess, no, Miss Dina, there was no choice. I had 5 kids. I had to make it work. So again, very long story. Uh, uh, all the struggles that I went through, I attribute it all to, well, part of God's amazing grace. And I was able to get out of it because God sent me the right people at the right time. Okay, so the seminar leaders that I mentioned and book authors, there are very good resources, and I learned a lot from them. But a lot of them were written by Western authors and given by seminar leaders who only had work experience with multinationals. So these generally were not applicable for small business owners in the Philippines like me. And I had to go through a lot of testing and making mistakes and then iterate a little by little. I adjusted the learning to the needs of our small businesses, and finally they became applicable. And what really helped very, very greatly was were our franchisors. I was a franchisee of Chowking for 18 years and STI College for 28 years. So they would send their channel managers and area managers to visit us. And I would tell them about my problems, and they would share the best practices from the other schools and the other restaurants, other Chowking branches. So these two companies also have training programs for the managers. Okay, our managers would be trained for free. All we had to do was to send them to Manila or Cebu or Davao, and most of the time I'd be the only franchisee there. I will be among employees, and I would be trying to learn as much as I can so I can apply them to all my business. Yeah, that's why, yes, lifelong learner nga, no, seminar junkie. And also, in those 30 years, God also sent me the right teams, the right hires, the right people for each of the business. That's why HR is very close to my heart, because I really learned HR from all the seminars that I attended and all the books. So from the management teams, like the right faculty members for the school, the different departments, HR, marketing, supply chain, finance, accounting was a struggle, but yeah, I was able to learn enough to make the businesses work. So yeah, the management information systems department, the MIS, audit, and even the maintenance. These are departments that we really need to have some knowledge about. So finally, after learning so much and getting so much help from teachers and mentors, slowly things turned around and we were able to pay off our debts. It allowed us to turn our businesses over eventually to our children. And now we are enjoying retirement. So God is so good.
So,
And we're here.
mommy, and um, did some of your five children take over your business, or
Yeah, so I have five kids. One is in London, so she could not help. But the other three are already now taking over. They have taken over already. They're now running the businesses so that we can just, yeah, be consultants to them. They would just call us once in a while if there are major problems. But other than that, they manage everything. And my youngest son also has his own business now. So things are running well in God's grace.
oh, all right, mommy, and I'm curious about one thing. What do you mean when you mention marketing may not be the problem with this other businesses? You know, the small, especially startups, etc.
Right, Miss Dina. This is actually one of my observations from the people who come to my free mentoring in the DTI Negosyo sessions
Okay.
that I would volunteer for. I'm a
Oh,
volunteer for Go Negosyo, which is the branch of which has a training arm called PCE, Philippine Center on Entrepreneurship. I'm also a volunteer for the Negosyo Center of DTI itself. So for years already, I think for the past 7 years, I would be um, live, going face to face before the pandemic, and then after that online, and I would be interviewing a lot of people coming for help, and their presenting problem would always be marketing. Even now when I have coaching clients who come to me, their question is always about how can I help them in marketing. So by marketing, when I would ask them, I would probe, what they'd say is that they want me to help them with their ads and promo so that they can attract more customers to their business. So whether it's online or physical stores, and even fellow coaches, I'm surprised lately. I have fellow coaches from Europe, the Americas, and Australia. Their common presenting problem is still marketing, which translates to how do I get more customers to buy from me. And I feel that that's funny because in almost all cases, ads and promos are not really their problem. Would you want to know, Miss Dina, what really is the problem?
yeah, I'm just curious because normally talaga, no? The average entrepreneur would immediately think, I really need marketing. So what is it that you believe is more of the problem, not the marketing?
Right. So actually, marketing sometimes is really the problem, but it's not the promos and the ads. It is
Ah,
this. The marketing problem that they have is that they do not have an inkling. They don't have an idea even of who their customer is. The worst thing is that they started their business. This is the common mistake. I also committed that mistake. Starting a business with a product or a service without even knowing who would be interested in paying for it. They just assume that, okay, I'll start with this and I'm sure somebody would buy it. Okay. Well, one example is a mentee who has a chili garlic sauce recipe that his friends and neighbors loved so much. So he bottled it and tried to sell it. Of course, the first time it was offered, it would sell. It would surely sell to his friends and neighbors, and they would buy, of course. But after that, who else? So when I asked him, he'd say, "Oh, everybody's my customer." Well, I said, "Well, not me. I don't like chili. So who else would buy your chili garlic sauce?" So if we come up with a promo or an ad, whom do we talk to? What would we say to convince them to buy? Because we do not really know who we are talking to. So eventually, after I taught him how to do market research, how to identify who are the people who would want to buy his chili garlic sauce, that was when he learned that his chili garlic sauce goes well with grilled meat, with we call that carne asado, and these are consumed as bar chow or pulutan. So he also learned that he had several competitors who also offered the same thing for half the price of his chili garlic sauce, and they supplied directly to the bars and the groceries in the city. So it was only then that he realized that his business is not as promising as he thought it would be. And it was good that he did not put out any ads or promos anymore because it would just be money down the drain, right? So his problem is really marketing, and the solution would have been to do market research first before jumping into buying the bottles and printing the labels, which most entrepreneurs would start with. Yeah. So that's an example of one of my mentees in the brick and mortar business.
wow. You said it so well because I guess um most people naman talaga, they really don't have a mentor. Wala, nobody can guide them. Oh, step one, step two, and all. Wala eh. They just want to do something. This one is good without really doing any research.
Right.
So in other words, Mommy N, you are saying before you decide to put up a business, do the research first.
Right, right. You're right.
Mm. Oh.
Mhm.
Okay, now, if, okay, for example, no, I'm an entrepreneur and then I did na my research and then I find, okay, so these are my prospective customers pala, ganon. So what is the next step after research?
Yeah, once you already know what are the things your ideal customer is looking for. First of all, you need to find out who your ideal customer is. Who are the things that are already there looking for your product or the service?
Mm-mm.
Next, once you find out about that, try to find out what are their problems. What are their problems with existing solutions? Who are your competitors? So once you will have identified who the competitors are, find out what they are good at and what they are lacking as far as the customers are concerned. So what is it that the customers are looking for? What is the gap between the supply and the demand? And if you can fill that gap, then you'll be able to start something good, something that you can sell to people that others cannot. Yeah, so that should be the next step. And this is not only true, Miss Dina, to brick and mortar businesses, even coaches. A lot of coaches that I have been talking to, they don't have any specific product except for their coaching services. So and then they come and ask for marketing. Yeah. And therefore, what happened is that they would go around They would go around and try to sell their coaching service, but they don't know what it is. They will just say, "Oh, anybody needs coaching. Everybody needs coaching, and therefore I can be a coach to everybody." So, for example, in my case, I was focusing on helping Filipino women owners of small businesses. Okay. And then I was able to attract a coaching client who is a coach from Australia. She's a life coach who specializes in life transitions. And she came to me and I said, "Okay, what is your problem?" He said, My problem is I haven't been able to attract clients. Okay. So for us here in the Philippines, somebody like her might succeed easily because there are just a few coaches who are dealing with transitions. But for somebody like her in Australia, there are so many life coaches. And even if she has a specialization in life coaching, it's still a broad area. So when I asked her about it, she said she can coach people who are undergoing promotions, career transitions like promotions, job search, workplace stress, and burnout. She can also talk about relationship transactions like divorce, emptiness. Can you see how wide it is? The scope is, right? Emptiness, blended families, or she can also do coaching for life and grief transition like death, job loss, and other changes. So the field is so wide. So if I am the customer who's undergoing divorce, for example, I'd look for a divorce coach, right? I will not be looking for a transition coach. And it is so for the rest of the type of the customers that she is targeting. She has to go narrow and deep. So when she realized that, when I was asking her about what is it exactly that you want to specialize in, that's when she realized that, oh, I'm not supposed to go into ad or promo yet. I have first to decide on my niche before I can proceed, right? So to be able to decide, she needs to identify, go narrow and identify which is easier for her. And then from there, go and look at how many people are there in that niche. For example, if she decides to focus on career transitions, are there many people undergoing career transitions? Maybe there's a lot at this point instead of going for relationships or going for something else. And she needs to find out how many competitors she has for each field so that she will know which one would be more lucrative for her. So the market demand is the next step, Miss Dina. Just like in the brick and mortar, it's the same thing with the coaching industry.
Normally, mommy, and that is such a wonderful example, no, easy to grasp. Normally, for a case like that, how many sessions will it take for you to give her, and how many hours per session before like she can go on her own na and okay na siya, you know?
Oh, for just to determine her niche,
Oo.
usually what I would do, I have this short program which I call the Discover Your Business Calling. So what I would do is I would look at her life from even before her birth. Like I would look at her parents, her family background, her grandparents, because what I believe is that the calling of each person is already in their DNA. It's not an accident if you are born into a family, for example, of farmers or a family of maybe broken families, series, a chain of broken families, and all of those other things. So it's, I would give them, say, a few videos that they can watch on their own and then fill up a form. And from there, we will just meet for 2 hours where I interview them about their lives. And eventually, we would be able to find Venn diagrams of where all of these experiences intersect. Okay, I follow the Ikigai Venn diagrams, and we could find the niche that she will be able to really discover. She herself actually discovers it after all the questions are answered. So it's not really a long time. It's not really a long time. The difficulty is that if we get the certification first, If we get the skill first, then we are overwhelmed with the possibilities that we can go into. That's why I
Oh,
would tell them the secret is in your own life, because nothing is an accident in this life. The reason why you went through this and this and this and this experience is because at the end, this is where you are supposed to be focusing on, so that you can make your life a contribution to the world. So, yeah, did I answer your question, Miss Dina?
yeah, I'm realizing now that you must really be helping a lot of people. That's why I'm just wondering, does DTI or the Go Negosyo Group, do they give you some kind of incentive to continue doing what you're doing?
Um, the DTI is in the Negosyo Center, there's nothing that they give. It's just really satisfaction in being able to help.
Oh,
So
okay.
for the Go Negosyo mentors, they give a little token of appreciation.
Okay.
Just it's not really a big amount, but yeah, it and also depends on the DTI office. It does not come from Go Negosyo.
Oh,
So
okay.
maliit
Okay.
lang. Mhm.
So,
So
by
yeah,
and large,
so
para bang, in other words, even you, Mommy N, you have gone through transitions also in your life, because obviously the the businesses you were with before passed were passed on na to your children, and you are not doing the day to day, what we
no,
call transactional things with business. No more na. You are now, in other words, you're more involved now with the coaching sessions with people who need your help. Correct? Correct? Correct.
right,
Tama ba?
right. Right.
Oh,
And that is my oxygen now, Miss Dina. So whenever I have
oh,
coaching calls, mentoring calls, that's what keeps me alive and excited to wake up every morning, because I have grandchildren, but they are all in London. So I have
oh,
no grandchildren to take care of here in the Philippines. So I have, that's why I'm mommy and my mommy negosyo to so many Filipino women. So they are all my children and grandchildren.
oh, oh.
And my children
So,
have their own lives now. So we
uh,
are
uh,
having
uh,
an
uh,
emptiness. Nobody's staying with us anymore.
so I can imagine that your following is growing by leaps and bounds, because you are helping so many people with their
Yeah.
businesses, with their lifestyles, whatever connected to their concerns that you help them to overcome. Tama
Yes.
ba?
Yes, thank you. Yes, and every day I create a YouTube video. So that's what I do every day, at least one YouTube video, and then it which is
Oh,
repurposed into many other things. So
oo.
the Facebook posts and TikTok videos, small videos into reels, into shorts. So that is what excites me every day. There's so much to talk about. I have learned so many things in the past 40 years that I cannot wait but share, because what I believe in is that there's no point in me keeping it all in my head. Might as well put it
Mm.
out into the world, and to be able to help as many Filipinas as I can.
Yeah,
So
I can
that's how
see
I intend
also.
to, yeah.
Yeah, I can
Mhm.
see also that you are really a dreamer, because until now you are you have this big dream of starting an organization of women business owners, and where one woman coaches and mentors five women, and in turn one of the five women coached and mentored will also do the same thing. In other words, you want to make it like grow and grow. That so the more people you help, the more also they will be able to help others. So it's like magkaroon ng ripple effect. Tama ba?
Right, right.
So okay, and you started dreaming this like a few years ago, and you are Are you already starting to take some steps to make this come true?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So I'm putting now. First of all, the videos are all out there, and I'll
Uh-uh.
continue to create more as I am inspired every day. And then
Uh-uh.
I'm creating mini courses now, so that these are the courses that will form the basis of the mentoring that will be given from
Mm-mm.
one woman to the five women, because I believe that one woman can just help five women, one per day, just
Uh-uh.
like what I'm doing now. So
Uh-uh.
one per day. And if they will mentor the others, they learn from their mentees, the people they coach and mentor. They are also learning from somebody up there who is more advanced than they are. So we women, kasi we are relational. We, even during the time of the cavemen, we would work together in groups. We are not meant to work alone in the home. So the men go out hunting while we are together. Some are cooking, some are taking care of children. That's how we were. That's how community based we are.
Mommy N, I am so curious. What are the common concerns that you discover uh, because of businesses that falter or maybe did not take off the way it should, and not due to marketing? What could be the other possible reasons?
Yeah, thank you for that question, Miss Dina. Yeah, most people think that the problem is marketing, but actually the problem is deeper than that. Okay, the reason they think that marketing is the problem and is the solution, it's because they don't have enough sales and not enough people are buying from them. So if the problem is that the product they have is no good or the location they chose is not the right one, it's still marketing. So it's really about the classic four P's: product, place, promotion, and price. So just with the right market research and before putting up the business, if they do that very well, then there should be no problem. Okay. And one thing lang that they have to remember is that market research is not just a one-time thing. So before we go into the other problems, I just want to emphasize this, that it is an ongoing effort to keep on learning about the customers, the competitors, and to check if the product is still relevant and competitive. So that's marketing. But the other causes of low sales, are operational issues. So let's take a bakery, for example. Operational issues can be any of the following three things, like inconsistent product quality. We have experienced that, right? We fall in love with a product from our neighborhood baker, but we get disappointed when we buy again because the bread is either smaller or too sweet or something else. So the bread is not really the problem. Sometimes the problem is there is another deeper root cause, and if we keep on advertising about it but the problem is not solved, then more people would know about the problem. And now with all the what do you call this, the feedback that people give online, it would be, or the reviews, uh, people would find out more that your product is lousy, right? So some of the product quality issues could be the baker issue, which is people. Maybe the baker was not trained. So it's an HR problem, or not motivated to do a good job, which is a leadership problem, management problem. Or maybe the baker is overworked, or maybe he has his personal issues, right? So it could be a process problem. And if it's a process problem, then that means that there was no specific process in baking the product. There was no enough standard equipment. Or maybe the strategy issue. It might have been a wrong strategy by management. When prices, of course, of the ingredients increased, what management decided was to, okay, let's retain our profit margin, but make the thing smaller, make the bread smaller. So it's a strategy issue. So marketing might not be the problem, it might be something deeper. So
Mhm.
quality control would be another issue. Or maybe inventory management. No, madami yan. And this is a longer problem. Miss Dina, you asked a while ago about how long does it take us to find out or to work with the business owners about this. This one takes a longer period because we have to identify the root causes of why the sales are low. Maybe the customer service focus is not as good. Maybe the hygienic problem, no, the cleanliness, the food safety problem in the bakery, or there might not be enough attention to the customer service. So we just named the 5 reasons, but there are others. The point is that when the presenting problem is marketing, which means promos and ads, most of the time it's not promos and ads. So before spending more on promos and ads, let's go deeper and look for the why behind the low sales.
I see.
So
So, Mommy, and obviously, you really do have, you can dig deep into your own experiences. And in fact, I just suddenly remembered, no, because you mentioned that initially you failed, all right? I have a feeling that's all the more reason why people need you, because you can actually look back at your experience and you have so much to share. And that's what makes you even more effective than others, because you've been there and you've done that and you've learned along the way, right?
yeah.
So, how do people get to reach out to you because they have these kinds of concerns now that they are at a loss? What could it be? How come I'm not making enough sales? I'm doing non-man everything and all. So how do they connect with you?
Oh, I'm just, it's easy. It's my name is a little difficult to remember. That's why I started, when people started calling me Mami Negosyo. So I said, oh, that would be a good name. So I am Mami Negosyo everywhere. I'm Mami Negosyo in TikTok. I'm Mami Negosyo in Facebook. I'm Mami Negosyo in Instagram. In YouTube, I'm also Mami Negosyo. Where else? In my podcast in Spotify, I'm also Mami Negosyo. So if they just
Wow.
look for me in all of those platforms, then under Mami Negosyo, that's how they'll find me. So they can message me anytime. I reply to messages. That's my oxygen.
Well, okay. I'm amazed at one thing, Mommy. And how, how many hours a day do you devote to? You just mentioned so many things, TikTok, YouTube. How 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 much time do you devote to that on a daily basis?
I am married to my I'm married to my screen. So when I wake up, it's just the usual taking a bath and all of those other morning routines. I'm very blessed that I don't have to do a lot of housework. So as long as I'm not, even sometimes when I have my meals, I'm in front of this huge screen over here. I also I'm enrolled also. I have 3 coaches as of the moment coaching me. One is for online, another one is for TikTok and video creation, and another one on email marketing. So I also consume lessons. I have coaches coaching me. I'm also on here coaching
Oh,
other
okay.
people.
Okay. So that's one of the secrets of your success, the way, from observation. Because not many people would be like you now, willing to spend time, effort, at the same time invest in learning from others so that you get to know more and add to your knowledge and skill set. So that's a big difference, Mommy N.
Mm,
And
right.
you are not actually hiring technical assistance, but what you are doing is learning from technical experts, and you do it yourself. What you learn from, you do it by yourself,
Yeah,
not having so many people around you doing it for you. But
I
you,
have. No, Miss Dina, I learned, and then
uh,
because what I found is that if I just ask the technical people to do it, they would not know how I want them want the things done. So I learn it, even video editing. I learned video editing. But after learning video editing, I now tell people, okay, do this for me. This is how I want it done. So I learned Canva. I was very patient in learning Canva step by step, took the tutorial, and then from there I say, okay, this is what I want you to do for me. So it's hard for me to just tell people to do it and let them decide for themselves because I get
Uh,
very frustrated that way.
yeah, yeah,
So
yes, of
yeah.
course.
So I have a
Uh,
team helping me. I have a
uh,
team helping me and I'm very blessed to have them.
but they don't do it like, for example, on a daily basis. They are just there like part-time team to help you.
There are two ladies who are helping me full time. One has two clients, so she helps me in the mornings, I think. One is full time. And then there's another lady who does my podcasts, but she has also other clients. And then there's a man who helps me with my video editing. There's a male friend. Yeah, but
Okay,
he
okay.
also has a lot of
Yeah,
clients.
but I can see that you're keeping a very busy, hectic schedule. In other words,
Yes.
in other words, you don't have a day that is boring and nothing is going on. You're always on the go. So that's your
Yeah.
secret. All right. So, oh my God, I can't help but be impressed. I'm impressed, really, because what I'm hearing now is way, way vastly better than what I heard from you before. In other words, you are so much better now than when I met you before. And I was already an admirer of yours before, but obviously during that time that we were not seeing each other, you have learned so much more and you have become so much better. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Mommy, and
Thank you. Thank you.
congratulations, Mommy. And
Thank you, Miss Dina.
yeah, you made maximum use of your time. Wow, fantastic. All right. So now, I'm attracted also to see to your new, what we call, your new advocacy now, which is the coaching. All right. So before we move on to your new advocacy, which is the coaching, are there any last what final words of advice that you can give to our viewers to help them out, to what we call, to ascertain whether is it really marketing or it's something else, and how do I know the difference?
Hmm. So, the beginning, the start, I guess the start of everything, of any business, is not the product. That's what I'd like to emphasize always, whether it's an online business or a brick and mortar business. Start with the customers you want to serve. And usually these customers is somebody like you many, many years ago, say 5 to 10 years ago. What is it exactly that you wish that you had 5 to 10 years ago? And from there, try to find out more of them and find out what the product is. So it's a balance between among three things. So it's the customers that you want to serve, the what does your who do you really want to help, so it's the customers, and then the next is what is it that they need, it's the products, and then the next products or services, and then the third thing is who are the people that they are buying from at the moment, so these are your competitors. So these three things have to be considered before we even go into business. And while we are in business, at all times, we need to watch out for these three. Our customers, our product, is it good enough for them? And who else is providing that product? At what price? Where are they located? What are they doing? Be always on the watch out. So once this is stable, this is you are sure about these things, then you need to be able to look at what are the things that are providing these services or products, what supports products and services. So you will need to have a good process for it. You will need to have good people. You will need technology. Okay, so uh, equipment and maybe software and the other things. Supplies. Uh, be on the lookout for new technology because technology is really a game changer. So, of course, your own leadership, management style, and as you grow bigger, you will need more data. That's why we have a very strong management information MIS department so that we are on top of our data because as your business grows big, you can no longer have direct contact with the customers sometimes. So you need to be able to make decisions based on your data. That's one of the things I learned from Chowking, being a franchisee of Chowking and about SDI, because in Chowking, you cannot, I'm sure, the owner, the franchisor, even if he has a lot of company-owned stores, I'm sure there are so many stores that he has never even stepped into, right? He has never even visited, but he knows what's happening in all of these. It's all data driven. So yon. What else? Yeah, I guess the people aspect is very important. So you have the processes that people should follow, but without the right people, the processes are useless. So that's it. It becomes more complicated as you grow, but if you have a mentor or a coach who can help you and guide you, it will eliminate a lot of the trial and error that you have to go through. So that was my mistake. If I had to, so that's why now what I do, Miss Dina, as I told you a while ago, I always go to mentors. I always learn from people. I pay a premium price to be coached by the experts directly. I no longer enroll in courses because courses are very generic, takes a long time. So I go directly, pay them a little bit more, and then they will present the problem to them and get the answers right away. So plug and play, plug and play. That's what allows me to grow faster now. I wish I could have done it when I was younger. It would have eliminated a lot of heartaches. But I didn't know any better. And that's why I'm telling people now, when people come to me for coaching, they will say, for example, how much is your fee? I said, okay, how much is it that you want to earn? Because I don't want to be charging you a fee na walang kapalit. If this is my fee and then you don't make 10 times that, then might as well let's not do this engagement anymore. But when you come to me, then you have a target amount that you want to reach. And from there, let's work on it. Let's work on it para
Oh,
meron kang ROI for your investment.
yeah, yeah. I'm touched by that approach. No, I mean your attitude is win-win, uh, which
Right.
which is really a fantastic attitude for an individual. It shows me that you're a winner by heart. And well, lucky, fortunate people um, who approach you because they know for sure you are not in it for the money only. Yeah, but
No.
question lang, no? Um, has there ever been any case wherein the person who approached you was so hard up and struggling so much and grabe talaga yung going through so much hard time that you yourself said, I'll help you out and you don't have to pay me now. You can pay me after you start to earn again. Has that ever happened?
No, that has not ever happened, Miss Dina. But if there is somebody who's gonna come to me that way, I would surely be happy to help. No, with that kind of an arrangement, because I for the past how many years, I think I only started charging last year. Before
Oh,
that, I used to mentor for free.
oh, I see.
And yeah, I
Okay,
used to,
okay,
they would just
okay.
come and I would say, okay, come and have free calls because what I really want to do is really help. But what I found out from all of those people that I have helped, they would just come and they would ask and then they would disappear. So they are not, if kung walang tinataya, I think they are not that serious. So
Okay,
so when
okay.
I look back, I said, okay, stop it already. Don't do that anymore. So whenever I yeah, so when I started charging, that's when
Uh-uh.
I got really really serious
Oh,
coaching clients.
I
Right.
get
I
the point.
learned it
Yes,
from
yes.
one of my coach because I have a coach whom I paid 100,000 for 3 months. Okay.
Ah,
But he did not leave me until I made 10 times that amount because he felt guilty that I paid him something and then he was not able to deliver. So I said, so that's it. That should be the attitude that when you invest, you expect something bigger in return so that you'll be happy. And that's why the people that I started mentoring and coaching last year. I'm very happy because I would always ask them, o sulit ba yung binayad mo sa akin? Because if you paid this amount and you did not get a corresponding increase in your sales or in your profit, then I would have, it would not have been win-win, right? So, kaya it always has to be win-win. So that's now my attitude. Like, okay, even if you do not, I'm sure wala namang very hard up na who is in business, who cannot afford to pay any amount. Malala, you know, more or less, you know how much sales they have. So you know how you can help them. But if they are really serious in taking your advice and would really implement, they would be willing to invest in you. Otherwise, it's all dal 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 dal, nice to have, and they waste my time, I waste their time also.
oh, so in other words, you are saying that from experience in the years past, you were just giving it for free and then nothing happened to them. They did
Not,
not, in other words, they did not take it seriously because anyway naman, free, you know? So,
yes, that's so
so
true.
wala, no? Wala. And
Right,
then you realize once you started really making it more professional and then with charges, reasonable charges, then that's when you were able to get clients who went to you for coaching and they were taking your advice seriously.
right, right,
Oh,
right.
all right. So I,
And yeah, and the commitment has to be at least 3 months because I need to see them implement it every week.
oh,
So yeah, so after we talk today, what are the problems? Okay, do this first step and then let's see. Next week, what did you do? Okay, this
oh,
one worked, this one did not work because these are the reasons. Okay, let's iterate and do it this way. And so week by week by week, and after 3 months, they saw, wow, we have grown so much. Yeah.
oh, oh my, I'm learning a lot. I'm telling you, mommy, and even I am learning a lot just from listening to you.
Thank you.
Also, oh, so it's a mistake to think, I want to help this person. He lost in his business. I'll give it for free na lang. Yung pala, it does not have as much impact as in if they invested in it.
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
right.
And
Oh,
a lot of people, Miss Dina, what they do is they have this idea. They come to me before. So they would say, okay, I will attend this free. So they present to me their idea. And then if I say, no, that will not work, this is what you, just like one guy who said, I want to put up a hardware because he retired from the military. So he said he wants to put up a hardware along that street, etc. I said, what do you know about hardware? Nothing much. He just wants to put up a hardware because with the military they feel good that they have this big retirement pay and they have a hardware. So but he does not have any experience in business, does not know anything about hardware, etc. And I said, it's not a good idea. Why don't you learn business and try to sell barbecue first? So I gave him a very good idea, and apparently he did not like it, so he did not proceed. And at the end, I learned that he still put up his hardware. And after a few months, it closed down. Goodbye retirement pay. So they just want to validate their idea with me. And if I say no, it's not a good idea, they wouldn't listen because they did not pay. It was free
Oh,
advice.
okay, okay, okay. So, wow. So there's a cause and effect, no? So
Right.
indeed, indeed. So I am glad we chose this particular topic because there are many people who really dream of going into business because nowadays it's not also that easy to find a good job. you know
Yes.
So a lot of people are thinking, mulling over, okay, I'm tired na rin of being an employee. Might as well go into business without putting a lot of thought into the process. And they did not bother to ask around, how do I go into this business? So they will just do it because they feel like, you know, parang almost like by ano lang, by intuition or by liking or whatever, without any kind of guidance, no? Like
Right.
expert guidance. Oh, so,
Yes, that you are right, Miss Dina. It has to be expert guidance because a
oo,
lot of people, I would say 80% of the people whose businesses fail
oo,
was it just like me. I also experienced that. We did not get expert guidance. We just heard from somebody or watched somebody succeed and we thought,
oo,
oh, gaya-gaya, putomaya. So, and then somebody might be just saying, oh, this is a good business, lechon manok, good business ito because I am successful. Yung pala, they just want to sell you the lechon manok machine and therefore you buy the machine, but then you are not successful. So there are
oo,
many people giving advice, especially if you go to YouTube. So many people giving
oo,
advice of what's
oo,
the best business for this, business for
oo,
that, when they themselves have not had the real experience about business or they just want to sell you something. So they really need
ah,
to consider the experience of the person who is giving the advice. Don't just
yeah.
follow anybody. Lalo na influencers. There are a lot of influencers who are good looking, very
Oo,
articulate, but wow, it's such a pity that a lot of people
oo.
lose money, especially the OFWs. They
Yes,
lose
yes, yes,
money, they lose their savings
yeah.
because of these glib talking people.
Yes, yes, yes. I also heard of cases like that, and yes, yes, yes. That is so true. So wow, mommy, and siguro, I don't know, no, if you can. Do you do you put that in a journal and or in a file somewhere na the number of people that you've already helped? Ganon. Do you have some kind of a
no,
record? No.
no, I don't keep those records anymore. So they can come they come sometimes they message me in TikTok, they message me anywhere, I just reply. And then now what I'm thinking of is I take notes now and I create a video out of those questions that they ask. But before they just
Oh.
come and go
Oo.
and I would just try to help and help and help.
Oh,
But
okay. So
now yeah.
what you're saying now, let me see if I got this straight. What you're saying now is in the past, it didn't really matter that much, but now you realize, wait a minute, because they asked me that question and then nothing happened. Might as well let many others learn from this. So
Right.
you have now made it a point for certain questions, you might as well make a video out of it and help many others in the process.
Yes. Well said, Miss Dina. Yes.
Oh, now
Very
out
true.
of these videos that you have circulated, the are there people who reach out to you afterwards and asked to be coached or mentored or like can you be na lang our consultant, mommy, and something like that? Did it somehow have some kind of effect like that?
Yes, a lot of people find me in TikTok. They find me so once they see me in TikTok, they look for me already in all of the platforms. A lot of people also find me. I'm very surprised because a lot of people find me in my podcasts, because apparently what they do is they multitask. So it does not matter if I am ugly, I'm old, if I'm just a talking head, they don't really care. So I don't have anything fancy. My background is just like that. So anyway, they're not looking at me. They're just listening to me while they are cooking or they're doing something else, taking care of their children. That's what they said. So they find me in the podcast and then they call me and then yeah, start asking me questions on how they can be mentored. So that's what happens. Yeah, but more than these people who come, because the people who come for coaching, of course I cannot coach everybody now. My time is limited, so these are only for a few people who are really serious. So that's why I do a lot of these videos, podcasts, and everything, so that as many women can learn from me as possible, especially those people who cannot afford. So they can only afford free resources, and hopefully, when their business grows a little bigger, then they might be able to have the courage to come and talk to me. That's why I'm looking at yeah, I'm almost 69, Miss Dina. So how many more years can I do this? So that's what I'm thinking. And therefore I said I better start training people just like I trained my kids to handle the businesses. I am now working towards developing lessons that can be that I can leave behind, and I can train people to conduct coaching based on those lessons, so that eventually we can have an organization of one woman coaching five people, five women, and then this woman will coach another five, and then this woman another five, so that it will be like a pyramid, but not like the pyramid scheme, but it's a community of women helping women entrepreneurs. So of course they will have to be paid. Some people have to invest. Not a big amount. It's just something that will an investment that will help their business grow maybe 10x out of their investment. So I'm considering that. So the people in the middle would not really be coaching for the money, just like where I am now. I'm not really coaching for the money, but it's for the commitment, for to maintain the team, right? We need to pay video editors, we need to pay virtual assistants, and all of these people who are making the business work. I'm looking at this organization as some sort of a business. And para may consuelo naman, the mentors, they get they get mentoring from another woman who is more advanced than they are, but at the same time they're also sacrificing their time mentoring others, so they should get um, some allowance in return, right? So that's what I'm looking at. I hope that I will be starting with one organization, but I hope it becomes a culture where women will be helping women, because uh, by the way, historically, women are really, um, we thrive best in communities. We are not meant to work alone. So when we are helping other women, then we feel good about ourselves. We learn from other women, even if they are not as advanced as we are when it comes to business. We learn from them, and at the same time, we're able to contribute to them. And that makes us feel fulfilled.
I am just so happy that you accepted our invitation. Thank you so much, Mommy M.
Oh,
And
thank you. Thank you. That's my pleasure and my honor.
yeah, so um, wow, what can I say? Viewers out there, if you like what you just heard, and I know you want a little more, please do click like and subscribe our channel, YouTube channel, and go also search for Mommy Negosyo because you will get much more from her. Ladies and gentlemen, remember that learning is a never ending journey with limitless vistas. Good day, everybody.